Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time is wild. This is one that I look back on and think, damn, this could have been way worse. It still was pretty bad, but it could have been a lot worse. So I hope you enjoy this. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's get into it. So today's story time all takes place back when I was 13. Now at 13, my life was pretty simple. My life was pretty good. I was a early teenager. I just became a teenager. And around this time, I was getting very obsessed with online gaming. Obviously, I was kind of obsessed with that before I was 13, but around 13 was when I actually got my own console, and I didn't have to share with my brother anymore, so I was able to just like grind and play Call of Duty and just be a nerd, So I was really kind of nerding out every day, and it was getting to be kind of a problem. I remember like 9 times out of 10 on the weekends, I would just be inside playing Xbox, playing Call of Duty online with my friends. And it would get to the point where like my friends would invite me to sleep over and stuff and like hang out outside of Xbox. I'd be like, nah, let's just play Xbox. And I was getting a little bit too like deep in it, right? And I remember one weekend at 13 years old, I was getting out of school and my friend Jeremy comes up behind me and he's like, yo, Austin. And I was like, what's good, dude? He's like, yo, come spend the night at my house this weekend. Like I'm having a bunch of people over. It's be like 5 of us, like come sleep over. And I was like, I might, I don't know. I might be busy. He's like, bro, what are you going to be busy with, bro? We play Xbox every single day after school, every single weekend. Like, I know what you're going to be doing this weekend. You're going to be playing COD. So, like, just come to my house and play COD. We'll all hang out and play together. And I was like, all right, man, you know what? I'll think about it. He's like, nah, don't think about it, bro. Just say yes. And I was like, well, even if I say yes, bro, I got to go home and ask my mom. He's like, all right, well, go home, ask your mom, bro. Like, come pull up, man. We haven't seen you in person in a minute. And I left the school after that, got on my bus, threw on my headphones, started listening to my music. And on the way home, I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? Jeremy had a point. I haven't really been hanging out with my homies. I've been getting a little too deep into this online gaming stuff. I've been kind of a nerd. I should probably like socialize a little bit in the real world and not just socialize on an Xbox Live party. So I did. I decided to go home. I asked my mom. She said it was okay. And I got my stuff ready to spend the weekend at Jeremy's house with some friends. Now, later that night, we pull up to Jeremy's house. We're hanging out. It started off great. Well, about 3 hours into hanging out, my phone dies. I'm like, okay, let me charge it. I go to plug it in to charge. It's just fucking broken, bro. The phone just wouldn't turn on. It was 100% broken. I think I got water like in the battery or something because that shit would not turn on. Anyway, now I'm in a bad mood, right? I'm like just like pissed off. I'm upset. I'm angry. My phone's not on. I can't text my friends that I was texting. I'm just in like a pissy mood, right? Now, after like several hours go by, at this point, it's very late at night. Jeremy's parents are asleep. We're just in the living room playing Xbox, kicking it. And Jeremy has this idea. He's like, yo, let's go skate. Keep in mind, it's the middle of the night. I can't remember the exact time, but I think it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. It was late. It was also kind of cold out. And also, we didn't really know where we were going to go that late at night on skateboards because Jeremy didn't really live near anything. But, we just were like, all right, why not? Jeremy wants to skate. Let's go skate. So we go outside and we start skating away from the house. Jeremy had like 9 decks in his garage. So we were able to just like bum off him and borrow his boards because we didn't bring our own. And we're skating down the street and we didn't have any destination in mind, anything to do. We were just going to skate around the neighborhood, right? And just as we're getting to the end of Jeremy's street, out of nowhere, I hear a sound that is so bad sounding. It sounded like a fucking like bomb went off. It was so loud. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And Jeremy looks at me, he's like, yo, what the hell? And I turn around and I see this car at the end of Jeremy's street in a driveway smoking, like just sitting there, and it looks destroyed. And I was like, what the fuck? Like there was a crash. Like, let's go check on them, make sure they're okay. Like, let's call the cops. And Jeremy's like, yeah, let's go. So we all start skating full speed back down the street. And as we're getting closer and closer, I realize this car is in Jeremy's driveway. And then as we get closer and we get like close enough to see it, this car crashed into Jeremy's house. And it wasn't like he just like hit the porch or something and like, bumped his front. No, this car was like in Jeremy's living room. Like the whole front end of it was like right through the window of the living room and just like there on the rug. It was not good. And I remember Jeremy's parents were out there already like making sure the driver was okay and like asking what happened. And then Jeremy's parents saw us like pull up on the skateboards and Jeremy's dad was like, what the hell are you guys doing out? You can't just go skateboarding in the middle of the night like that. Like you have to ask us. And he was all pissed off. But After that, he moved back on to the important thing at hand because he had bigger things to worry about than us skateboarding at night. He was a little bit more concerned with the fact that there was a car smoking in his living room. So anyway, yeah, he goes back to talking to the driver, and we learn that the driver crashed into their house for a pretty crazy reason. You know, I thought, okay, maybe the guy was like drunk or something, or maybe he like wasn't paying attention and was speeding and he like couldn't slow down in time. I don't know, right? So this guy had a really old piece of shit car. I can't remember the exact model of what it was, but it was old, it was rusty, and it looked like a death trap. And apparently it was a death trap because I guess when he turned down that street, his brakes just stopped working. He couldn't stop. And it's a downhill street. It's a downhill like neighborhood road. So he just was only picking up speed. And yeah, he was already going pretty fast after he made the turn. He was probably speeding a little bit. So you pair that with the fact that your brakes aren't working and you're going downhill, you're in for a bad time. And that's exactly what he had, because he crashed into my friend's living room. But anyway, the cops, the fire department, the paramedics all pulled up, made sure the car was okay. It was smoking, so like obviously that was a concern, and they had to deal with that and get it out of the way. And then the paramedics were checking out the driver. He was actually fine, luckily, very luckily, because that could have been really bad. But here's the craziest part. Where the car was, like literally like right where that car was parked in that living room, essentially. It's not like the whole car was in the living room. It was just the front end went through the window. So the front end was in the living room. But here's the insane part. That window that the car went through was the same window that I was sitting on with my friend while we were playing Xbox just before we went to go skate. Because it was one of those windows that had like a thing in front of it where you could sit on it. I don't know what it's called. I don't know why I can't think of it. I'll try and find a picture. But essentially, yeah, like we'd sit on that and we'd have our back turned to look at the TV. So if we were still in there and Jeremy never had that idea to go skate, that would have been horrible. I would have literally gotten rammed by a car through a house. It would have been bad. I probably would have like died. It would have been bad. Anyway, Jeremy's dad actually realized that later on in the night, and he apologized for getting mad at us for going out skating and actually said he was happy that we like went behind their back to go skating. So yeah. But all in all, in the end, everybody was okay. The driver was okay. We were okay. Unfortunately, the sleepover got cut short because we didn't really have anywhere to sleep now because there was a hole in the living room. So we ended up getting picked up by our parents and leaving very, very early in the morning. I think it was like 4 or 5 a.m. at this point. And yeah, we went on home and just tried to get some sleep. And I remember like feeling super bad for Jeremy because it's not fun to have a car go through your house in the middle of the night and mess everything up. But yeah, in the end, everyone was safe. Everyone was okay. His house was fixed pretty quick. They had like a whole team of contractors over there, like within the next couple days, and they had that shit fixed up very quick. And honestly, it looked even better than before. So yeah, I guess that's good at least. And yeah, everyone was good. They actually ended up making friends with the driver, which is kind of a funny way to make a friend. Like, hey, this driver like crashed into our house, but he's our friend now. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of the story time. Definitely one of the most interesting things I've ever seen on a sleepover with my friends. And I was happy that I went out that night to socialize. And I was happy that we went out skating because I could have gotten hit by a car. And so could my friend. But yeah, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace.
Take his 401k and I'll put it on my wrist.